Day 50 on the Florida Trail. I can't believe I've been on this trail hiking or biking for 50 days. And you guys have hung in there with me. Those who have started with me from the beginning, you are a trooper. You've had to watch 50 episodes, and there's more to come. Anyway, I've looked at the map today, and it's gonna be a very special hike, I think. So I'm excited. Yesterday I was noticing that there was a lot of fresh bear scat on the trail, and then it just hit me. Bears in Florida don't hibernate. I thought all bears hibernate. So do you guys know anything about this? Bears in Florida, how does that work? Don't they have to hibernate at some point in their life? Bears, in order to have babies or something? I don't know. Anyway. Oh, see? We're coming into some different terrain already. Oh, this is gonna be great. So this is called Hopkins Prairie. And there's lots of marshes. My, I wish I had my telephoto lens with me. Do you hear the birds? So not only do you have marsh birds, but you got birds that hang out in the trees. So you got the best of both worlds on this walk. I wish I knew my birds. But I love birds anyway, even though I don't know who they are. Just a glorious morning. I feel like I've reached another milestone today. I'm finally on the book of Exodus. It's been a long time in Genesis. So anyway, after Joseph and his brothers died, the Bible says that their offspring, who are called the children of Israel, were very fruitful and increased abundantly, multiplied and were exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. God promised Jacob numerous times that his seed would be as the sand of the sea, and now it was coming to pass. And the wording seems to be a conscious echo and allusion to the creation story, where Jesus says, "Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth." So we know that God is in control here. There arose a new king in Egypt that did not know Joseph. Archaeologists and historians do not know who the new king was, but they have a good idea. At any rate, it wasn't just a new pharaoh, it was a new dynasty. Over 400 years had passed since Joseph died. The new Pharaoh started panicking about how many Israelites there were, and he was worried that if there was ever a war, that they would side with the enemy. So he set taskmasters over them to afflict them with their burdens, and he had them build 2 cities, Pithom and Ramses. However, the more they were afflicted, the more they multiplied and grew. So the Egyptians made them do very hard work with brick and mortar. Scrub jays are only found in Florida.
Yeah.
They don't migrate.
There's a big sign back here that will tell you about it.
Okay.
They're actually the same as a blue jay.
Okay.
The same family, but because they are a subspecies, and they only live where you have this kind of vegetation. They like thick shrubbery.
Okay. Neat.
They nest in there and they feed in there.
That was fun meeting that gentleman. His trail name is Grits. He's traveled this trail before. He's very knowledgeable. So that was fun. Well, since the hard labor was not working, the king spoke with the 2 Hebrew midwives and said, "When you see the Hebrews on the birth stool, if they deliver a son, kill him, but the daughters can live." But these midwives feared God and didn't do what Pharaoh had commanded them. So the Pharaoh called them and said, "What's going on? Why haven't you done what I asked?" The midwives said, "The Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women. They are lively, and they give birth fast before we can get to them." So the people multiplied and grew very mighty, and God dealt well with the midwives and even provided households for them. If we do what God asks of us and not what man asks of us, especially if it goes against God's commands, then God will bless us. By ignoring the ruthless command of the king, they helped to build up the families of Israel. And so their own families were built up by God. They risked their own lives to save the lives of their people. Just so special to be walking by the water. Loving this day. The guy's just soaking up the sun rays or something. His wings spread out. I was wondering what this thing was for, and now I know. It is a bat house. It can hold up to 50,000 bats. And they're hoping to attract bats to this area because bats eat their weight in insects every night. So they're hugely beneficial. Oh, I hear them in there. Can you hear that squeaking? That's cool. I guess there's quite a show in the evening when they leave. Aww. Now I duck into the woods. South. Yes, I'm going south. I'm about the only one going south, it seems. It's so nice to get a reprieve from the heat in here. It actually is quite nice and cool. this is fun. Got a challenge, a course challenge. These branches are alive. They're not blowdowns. Love it. So how many of you have been brave enough to go against what your boss tells you to do? I have a story similar to these midwives in a way. The doctor asked me to give the patient the plan B, in other words, the morning after pill, and I said I wasn't comfortable giving that. And I said, she can go down to the pharmacy and get it. I don't want to give it. So he ended up giving it to her, thankfully. He was a really nice doctor, so I didn't have to do that. But if somebody wants you to do something against God's will, are you brave enough to stand up to them, no matter how scary and difficult the situation is? Well, due to the logistics of where we need to meet again, it's 9 miles down the trail and it's 2 in the afternoon, so I don't think I can do it. So I'm gonna have to cut this day short today at just under 7 miles. It's so deflating after my epic day yesterday, but it is hot, so I will enjoy the afternoon off. I'll see you tomorrow. I think this is the gopher tortoise. I've seen his evidences all along the trail. I finally get to see one. He's pretty docile right now.